Space Shuttle, this is flight safety. Keep your hands on the handrail or inside the vehicle and remain seated while in motion. You are clear for launch. Have a great flight to Starport 75.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good.
Good.
Talking to you again. It's like the sun has risen on my day.
Well, good. I'm glad. It's good to talk to you too. It has been a while. You were out of town last week.
I don't even know where I was. Oh yeah. No, wait, do I? Oh yeah, I was in Houston.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Disney park there that I could
What?
find. I drove around a little bit, but I couldn't find one.
Crazy.
I don't know. You like Houston? Do you like Houston? You been to Houston much?
I used to go to Houston fairly often when I was younger. And I liked Houston. We used to go to Astroworld. They had a Six Flags theme park there.
I think we talked about that before.
It was across from the Astrodome, and so we would go to an Astros game and then go to at night, and then like the next day go to Astroworld, and it was a lot of fun. We went with the youth organization. I went with Tammy once. So I went with my cousin once. We hopped on like a Southwest plane and went for like the day or one night with him and his buddy. And
you're like the rich kids on his Instagram and just
no.
hopping on your jets and going places.
Southwest. It was probably like $50 to fly back in the 1980s.
Pretty close to where you are.
Yeah. Well, that's the hub, right? It's right there. It's like maybe an hour at the most. I don't know, but so anyway, I like Houston. That being said, I haven't been there in a long time, and we are actually looking. We're kind of hoping to go around Labor Day.
Oh, really?
For the weekend? Yeah, to go to Johnson Space Center. I've been wanting to go there, and and then to an Astros game because I haven't been to the new stadium. So
I was right where I stayed was actually right next to Minute Maid Stadium.
Really?
Minute Maid.
Is it nice looking? Seriously?
Yeah. That seemed nice. It's a nice little area downtown there. They got like convention center and hotels and that and whatever the arena is. It looked like like a Toyota something or other, like kind of the arena where they like basketball stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, was there something basketball related? Because I heard the hotel I was in that a whole bunch of basketball players were there. So I don't know. Was there like an all-star thing or like a playoff thing or like
there's done?
No, I know there was a lot of tall folks running around there for some reason.
It could have been just a special event or something.
Maybe. But Houston, I feel like I need to get a local to kind of show me around Houston because I spent a lot of time in Texas and San Antonio, I know Austin, and Houston's charms have never gotten to me. So
yeah, it's a big, wide open city. Like it's a city. Like
sure is.
It's not a good representation of Texas.
Yeah. So this week in Texas is that the show?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was traveling and. I guess that's what it was. I was traveling kind of right on the week we normally record. So and I've been busy. I haven't been to the parks recently, so I'm totally relying on you this show for the content, and I will just share my golden opinions on everything.
Good.
How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. Well, let's do it.
All right. So we'll start with some news. And now the Disney news of the day. So just Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. This year we'll have some new experiences for a few of the rides. So the Mad Tea Party is going to have some new lighting effects. So I'm assuming from the description it looks like they'll probably have black lights or something like that because it says depending on the color of your costume, you too could transform under the new dancing light.
The kids love that stuff. They love the black light stuff. It's always popular. I can't believe we're already talking about Not So Scary.
I know it's.
I have to look at my calendar and say, wait a minute, where are we? We're still in summertime, right?
I know.
I guess not that far away. Doesn't it start in like August or something crazy?
It does. August.
Wow. Okay,
that's insane.
Halloween is not that far away on the Disney calendar anyway. How funny. Okay, cool. So when you're coming down for this, right?
I would love to. But no, we're not.
We did that one time, didn't we? Together?
Yeah, we did. When my daughter was a year old, maybe.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, okay, you can come back. All right, that's cool. What's going on?
Pirates of the Caribbean, new Pirates Invade experience, interacting with sailing guests who will join the search for Gunpowder Pete. So I'm going to assume that they're going to have actual actors in the ride, where that's the only thing I can think of.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
I've never experienced that, so I don't know what to
imagine though. I don't know what it is. Every time I hear you say the description of these special things or I read them, every single time I have to go, wait, what? Like it just like the words don't seem to connect for some reason. So,
no, I'm not just saying random words.
So, all right. So basically, you're going to be in the show, right? You're going to be
yes.
Okay.
And then Space Mountain. On Space Mountain, explorers will hurtle through deep space as a new soundtrack and special effects transform the adventure.
Oh,
you might even see a few ghosts in the galaxy.
Oh, I think that's cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
In outer space?
That'd be kind of cool.
Are there ghosts out there?
I'm sure. Well, where do you think they go? That's where heaven is, right?
A lot of space in space. What are they doing out there?
There's a lot of space in space, but there's been a lot of dead people too. So you got to do something,
and
right?
Here we go. We're going. No, take it
too deep, too early. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead people. All right, so it'll be Halloween themed space.
Yes,
is what I'm saying. But you know what? I'll be more down with that than the pirates in the ship, in the boat.
And then Storybook Circus by Fantasyland.
Yep.
This year, Storybook Circus welcomes the Storybook Circus Disney Junior Jam, a dance party featuring some of your favorite Disney Junior characters, including Doc McStuffins.
My kids would go crazy for this.
See? I'm guessing that they realize that they need some more entertainment or, some different stuff, because maybe to keep people coming back, because, I think it's been the same forever, right?
They don't seem to have a problem getting people to come back to the parks, though. I mean,
no, they don't. You're correct.
Okay.
But I think because
these dance parties in a lot of places where they're like, we need to have something. Is that what you're saying? Like we need to have.
All of these are simple. Like,
I don't want to call it filler, but
that's exactly what they are.
But at least the Space Mountain thing's a bit of a technical. I mean, they got to get a soundtrack
and just lights and sound,
some ghosts and stuff. Yeah. Now, maybe I missed it when you said it. Is this Disney World and Disneyland, or is this just Disneyland?
Disney World.
Disney World. Okay. So, okay. Well, I don't know. I like the Space Mountain thing because I've been jealous. They do what is it, Hyperspace Mountain, that whole sound effect thing, soundtrack thing over at the West Coast.
Yeah.
So at least get something kind of different.
True. It's it's pretty nice because I've been on the Hyperspace Mountain. It's actually, you wouldn't think it was that cool of an effect, but it really is cool. Like, you see the X-wings flying, and you see TIE fighters flying and stuff, and they have the audio synced with it, and it actually works a lot better than I thought it would. So if they do the same thing here, because I think this is the first time they're really doing anything with Florida Space Mountain,
as far as I know,
anything special like that. So that I welcome it.
Me too. I don't know why. It seems like West Coast gets all like interesting things that we don't get on this side.
Well, you know why, right?
It's like the home park. Is that why? It's like
no.
The Imagineers are just down the road. Is that
no? Because most people who go to Disneyland are not there for vacation. They're mostly local people.
Yeah. Okay.
And so by transforming Haunted Mansion to the Nightmare Before Christmas version.
Right.
And doing an overlay for Ghost Galaxy, for Space Mountain, and things like that, and It's a Small World Christmas overlay. People who go to Disney World are, for the most part, are people visiting, as a destination. And when they go, they want to see the Haunted Mansion, the regular Haunted Mansion. They want to see the regular It's a Small World. They don't really want to see the variations of it.
Yeah, I see.
So that's why Disney.
I see.
And that's why this isn't that big of a deal. Because it's an after-hours party, right?
Right. Huh, that's interesting. I haven't thought about those terms. I wonder now, of course, it'll never reach LA levels, but I wonder as, Central Florida population goes up and up and up, if that dynamic changes at all. Just, because, and they do seem to be catering a lot more to we talked about it before, to annual pass holders. I wonder if that Yeah, I mean, obviously, still vast majority of people, it's vacation destination. But I wonder, could happen.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, all right, I'll dream about that. I just want Hyperspace Mountains. Is really all it comes down to. So
yeah,
cool.
All right. Next, I threw
Wait,
this.
do we have pricing for that?
No,
Is it?
I have no. It's $1 million a night.
So cynical.
No, it's like what, $100 a night or something?
Yeah, it's really gone up. Wasn't it 30? I think we've talked about this before, but wasn't it 35? Like
Yeah, it was
first time?
really cheap.
Yeah, it wasn't expensive at all.
Hold on, now I'm looking, and I think they have. Yeah, okay, so it's variable pricing, so it depends on when you want to go.
Oh, that's right, they added that. Yeah,
but it starts at $85. I guess for kids.
That's crazy.
And then, well, no, that's not true. August. I'm looking at August. The first one, it's $79 for adults, $74 for children.
Yeah, I refuse. I'm not doing a Halloween thing in August. I'm not doing it.
But if you want to go Halloween night,
No,
which is a
please.
Wednesday night,
$1
it's
million.
$125 for adults, $120 for kids.
Wow.
So most of October, it looks like it's $100 for adults and $95 for kids.
Yeah. So once again, we won't go. Maybe some year we will, but it's just such a. I mean,
that's
gosh,
$400 that you would pay to go to a Halloween
I
party.
know. And we already have annual passes.
I know.
Like it's virtually the same thing.
I know.
Anyway, whatever. Okay.
So, next is the I threw this in for you.
Okay. What is it?
First Disney Skyliner gondola car arrives at Walt Disney World.
I'm so excited about this, mainly because you're not. I think that makes it even more fun.
I think that's all it is. I think if I loved this, you would be like, Glenn, come on, it's so silly.
You might be right, but we'll never ever know.
We never ever will know.
No, this is still, I've said it before, this is still in the category for me that they're doing something different with transportation. I know you don't like it. I know you think it's stupid. I know you think, there's so many other ways to do it, but at least they're doing something.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to hold most of my judgment and comments until it's up and running and it's built. Because you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just, not on the right page.
Or maybe you are. We'll see. I will agree with one part. I will agree with you that the line that they're going to run seems strange. Just based on if they could run a Skyway, it seems like it's kind of strange how they're doing it. But there's obviously reasons, whether they're good or not. They have reasons why they're doing it that way. But I was excited to see the picture and
yeah,
because we shared it. What was interesting is because it was a picture of it like on a flatbed truck. I don't even know how people get these photos. But you need to do a better job of hiring but it looked like backstage somewhere. It didn't look like it was.
They're on the street.
Really?
You can see that one of the street the signs. They're heading to I know exactly where they are. They're on what is that? They're heading to Osceola Boulevard.
Okay.
Kind of by Art of Animation.
Okay, I guess I misread it. It looked like it was just kind of stopped somewhere, but anyway, I guess you're right.
No, they're in traffic. But
like, why wouldn't they cover it up more? Like, it's. I mean, they have like a little tarp on top of it, but I mean, it's basically uncovered.
I think because they're going to start putting these things, testing them. I think it's going to come quicker than people realize. So
it seems like it sure is. I mean, because like once they have the pylons in, they just got to put up some string and then throw these things up there, right?
String, yarn. Absolutely.
Yarn.
Now, I will say this. I do like the look of the car, the gondola car. It's a sharp, and maybe because it's red, and I love red transportation things, but
red and black actually, which is
even and somebody pointed out too. If you look at the very top of, and I'll post this picture.
Oh, there's more pictures here than I saw before. Okay, I only saw like the first one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I'll post this on the show notes. But if you look at the top.
Yeah.
You see the it kind of looks like stars.
Yeah, like a hyperspace thing.
Right. Yeah. So somebody said, "Oh, maybe this is like a Star Wars themed car," and it's like, "Oh, maybe
they're gonna have how they do wraps on the monorails every once in a while."
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, even the concept art shows, they're gonna have like pictures of Mickey and stuff. But what I like the most is I love that, and I hope it's not just the protective covering, but I love the mirrored window. Oh
no, that's got to be part of the design, right?
I would hope so because it looks really sharp.
Yeah, because I think in one you can kind of see through it into the inside a little bit. Yeah, I think they're neat, and they're not they were some. I don't know. It looks smaller than I thought it would be, but then I did some researching and found which I didn't see it before. I don't know if you did, but I saw some links back to the company that manufactures these. I don't remember the name offhand, but I guess they run a very similar line with the same kind of cars over the Thames in London.
Okay.
You saw that, right? There was some video. It's actually, I think Emirates sponsors it, and it's almost like a theme ride, right? It's like it's not really for transportation. It's sort of like, hey, see London from the sky kind of thing. I think is kind of what I got out of it.
That's what I got too. Yeah.
And they say these cars hold like what 6 to 8 people or 8 to 10.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I've heard 6 to 8. Yeah,
which they don't look like they'd fit that many, but haven't seen the inside of it, so they look cool. I'm still excited to see where it goes, but. I mean, I know where it goes. I'm excited to see it get implemented.
But yeah,
it goes somewhere.
It does.
If you stayed at one of these, we've had this conversation. If you stayed at one of these hotels, you'd be very excited about it.
That's true. Well, I'll touch on that too. The fortune you need to be able to stay in.
All right.
But anyway. Yeah,
all right. Okay. It's interesting though that this trailer has just one on it. It's like, wouldn't you?
Well,
number one, wouldn't you think there'd be like a caravan of like like 6 on a truck?
You would think.
Makes you wonder, like, are they? Is this like, because you figure somewhere they're gonna have to prop one up for people to not guests, but like management and the other people that work in the transportation. Like, well, what do these gondolas look like? Well, here, go over to building 6 and we have one kind of set up.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
Yep.
Looks cool. I like it. I approve. Still approve.
Okay.
You're gonna like it. I guarantee you, I'm gonna put money down. You're gonna I thought it was gonna be stupid, but it's actually pretty cool.
I hope that's the case. I do.
Yeah. Especially when they do another one that goes from the TTC to Epcot or something.
Okay. Hey, I'm down with that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go TTC to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, actually, right. That's where it should go.
Yeah, and then to Animal Kingdom.
Is that still there? They still have that?
Yeah, apparently so.
Well, I didn't know. Okay. All right, good. Right. Skyliner coming. We don't have a date for this yet, right? There's no like everything.
2019, but
yeah, okay, but not.
Yeah. No, they haven't announced a specific date yet.
Okay. You want to be the first one up there? Would you be the first one up?
Not at all.
I mean, you wouldn't. Nobody's going to be the first one up, but you know what I mean.
Well, somebody's going to be the first one up.
Yeah, but it'll be somebody from like the company that builds.
Yeah,
it,
I know.
So that kind of,
I know. But no, I don't want to be. No, I'll let others
crash test dummies up there. Oh, excuse me. All right. Cool. All right. First car.
Yep.
1,000 more to go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right. Next is Disney has offered another bid for Fox, and today is what Wednesday, the June 27th. It was announced that they have also won antitrust approval. So if Fox accepts their offer, then the deal will go through.
Okay. You sound very, very unhappy about this deal.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled.
Yeah, why not?
I think it's a lot of money for. I don't know what Disney's getting, except for they'll get pretty much the control of Hulu, and they'll also get Sky Network overseas,
which is big,
which is huge. I mean, that's really what you're buying is distribution points, right? It's not really for
does Disney need that though? I mean,
well, that's what I keep coming back to. I mean, it's $71.3 billion.
Yeah,
and it's 50% stock and 50% cash.
Wow, I didn't realize that. That was gonna be my next question.
The original deal before Comcast was all stock, so there was no cash. I mean, Comcast came in with an all cash offer for $65 billion.
Yeah,
from what I've heard from a lot of these reports and stuff, is that Comcast, if Fox had accepted Comcast's bid, that all like they would be in dire straits. Comcast would be in dire straits because their stock is not doing well. They don't have that much cash, and it was
we had to leverage some stuff, whatever.
Yeah, some people believe that they might actually have to sell some stuff off to complete the sale, and and that really this was, you know, and I don't know who it is, but the head of Comcast hates Bob Iger, right? And Disney. Okay. Well, yeah, because Comcast tried to buy Disney back when Michael Eisner, you know, that's what helped drive Michael Eisner out.
Really?
Was that failed takeover?
Okay.
Oh yeah, you don't remember that?
No. I don't remember what happened last week though. So you
know, back in around 2005-ish or so, Comcast made a bid for Disney.
Okay, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, and so that's what helped drive Michael Eisner out. Was yeah. So,
how did that push him out though? What?
Because the shareholders did not want to do that, and so that's when they voted, had a vote of no confidence for him.
Oh, so Eisner was pro selling to Comcast?
No, he wasn't. But the investors were upset that he let Disney get to a point where it could even be a takeover target for anyone.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, so I probably knew it at the time, but I just don't remember it being Comcast as being the instigator. Okay. Well, I'd rather Disney get it than Comcast, but if it was going to kill Comcast, then I would.
Well, that's exactly. So,
is there anybody who's a fan of Comcast? Is there anybody like
no?
Obviously, Mr. and Mrs. Comcast are fans, but I mean, like, my final straw was when they bought NBC. I'm like that's my final straw there. Huh. Okay, so but I mean, it's pretty much a done deal? I mean, it's not.
No, pretty much. I mean, so as of right now. The last step is if Comcast, I think they have a few more days to make a counter offer.
Yeah. But they don't have the resources for that. It sounds
I nobody believes that they will, but if they do, then Fox and their board have to consider it. And if it's higher than Disney's, then they'll just, so money's money. It's not completely over yet, but for the most part, it's done. Especially with the antitrust approval, they would have to go through that with Comcast, and Comcast owns, NBC already, and well, I mean we Disney owns ABC, but Comcast owns Comcast, right? The distribution part of it, and Disney doesn't own anything like that. So
it is strange though. It's hard to find a strong branch to hang on as to why Disney needs Fox, but they must believe so.
I mean, that's the thing. They don't have. I mean, Fox doesn't have a lot of great properties that they would be buying.
Is this everything Fox except for Fox News, or are there other things that
well? So yeah, okay. So it's everything except Fox News, and they have to, for the antitrust approval, they agreed to sell all of the regional sports networks. So like we have Fox Sports Southwest and stuff here. Mm-hmm. They have to sell all of those smaller channels off, but that's pretty much it. They'll get the Fox Studios, they'll get all of their other investments. So yeah, they well,
wait a minute. I understand. I'm reading while we're talking here. So here's an article from CNN back in May.
Okay.
For Disney, the deal would be all about expanding its content library. A union would add big name Fox franchises like X-Men and Avatar to a lineup that already includes Marvel, blah 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 blah.
I mean, okay.
Well, I didn't realize that, but I mean, okay. Then, I mean, who knows if that's worth $73 billion? But
all of Marvel they paid $6 billion for.
Yeah, but when you start adding up these pieces, I mean, at least there's. Because if you just think just distribution, it's like, well, they're Disney. They can already do whatever they want. And like, okay, Hulu, but and I'm sure the sports.
So what? No, so that's the whole thing. Is Disney already announced they were going to have whatever Disney Online or whatever they're. Right. So Hulu becomes that now, right? Yeah. I mean, they kick everything else off of Hulu, and now it's their Disney.
Okay, I guess just a quick win to that.
Huh?
It's just a quick win to that.
Yeah, that's all it is. And you already have all the subscribers who signed up to see all of the other stuff, but now, they're forced to, now they're getting the Disney stuff, and they just stick around. So
okay, I could see this though. So this isn't one of the this isn't like a, hey, there's one thing we want. This is probably like, and we get this and we get that,
right?
And so
yeah, I think honestly, it's Hulu and Sky are the big things.
Yeah, Hulu does. I mean, I don't know.
Hulu's big.
No, I know. Well, I know it is, but it's just big in relation to Disney. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So. Clearly, others have done calculations and feel it's worth it. But yeah, there's crazy money spent all over the place for all kinds of things, and it's hard to see. But plus, they got a lot of cash, and they got to do something with it. So,
yeah,
I guess and their stock is valuable. So, I guess it makes sense. I'm not too against it. It's funny. You see them. How do I put this? So logically, we know that in the last 5 years, whatever the timeline's been, Disney has acquired all kinds of intellectual stuff, right? Marvel and Star Wars, etc. But what really brought it home to me was the trailer for the new Wreck-It Ralph movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, and they make a joke of it in the trailer. Why wouldn't they call it Rex the Internet? Why does he break the internet? Do you know? Is there any way that makes sense? No, you have no answer for that. Okay. No. So what really brought it home to me was like there's a quick clip when they first get to the internet, right? What's her name? And Penelope. And Ralph.
Yeah.
And they get to the internet and they're like, she's like, Disney, and then they start showing like Star Wars and Marvel and like really like, holy moly, Disney really just does own it all at this point, right?
Pretty much,
just in terms of like cultural icons and of content and stuff. It's like just that scene really kind of smacked me in the face with. Really brought it home.
It's true. I mean, it is true. Okay. As a young boy who was a Star Wars fan, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think Disney would be linked. My two loves would be linked at any point.
Yeah.
I still remember the day that. It was announced that Disney had bought Lucas. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't work the rest of the day because I was at work, and one of my coworkers actually told me about it. And I'm like, wait, what? And so like I couldn't do anything else the rest of the day. I was gone.
See, to other people that don't know you, that sounds like hyperbole. But hey everybody,
does that work for you at one point? You completely believe it, right?
Yeah, worked in quotes. You were on an org chart in a box in my organization. That is
shush.
It worked, please.
So silly. So I'm not thrilled about this, but I mean, I guess it's better than Comcast owning it.
Yeah.
But if we could have picked the carcass of Comcast, that would have been nice too. So I don't know.
What is the downside for you as a fan of Disney? What's the downside though? I mean, it's not going to break. It's not going to ruin Disney and put them in a spot where they can anything bad. So wouldn't it be all upside? Hey, now they have even more stuff. They have even more. Like if you're a fan of Disney, isn't that a good thing?
I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What is amusing though is now they will own The Simpsons.
Right.
Which
they really will own everything now.
Universal Studios Orlando has a Simpsons land to go with their Marvel superhero island.
Messier and messier, doesn't it? How weird.
And
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so and Universal also, as part of Marvel, they have an X-Men. They actually have an X-Men like Storm Chaser.
Oh wow!
Like ride at Universal. So now Disney will own every single.
All right. Well, how do they buy up the Dr. Seuss properties as well? They might as well add that to the
right?
To the stable.
Well, Universal, like Harry Potter, that's Warner Brothers. They put out those movies.
Right.
Universal doesn't have anything Universal in their park. Despicable Me. That's
King Kong.
Isn't
that Universal?
Yeah, King Kong is, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh. Transformers. I don't know where if that's Universal or not.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like it matters anymore. They just so many cross licensing deals. It just doesn't matter.
I know, but it's just silly. But then again, Disney has before today, they had an Avatar ride, right? And they didn't own it. So and the Tower of Terror, that's Twilight Zone is CBS.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
So, distributed by DreamWorks and Paramount Transformers. So yeah, that's not Universal either.
That's so strange.
So, anyway, all right. Okay, the last bit of news I have is the 2019 vacation packages are now available. So it goes through Disney released the package offerings for fall through the start of 2019 last week.
Okay.
And I bring this up because I was listening to another Disney podcast, and
there are no other Disney podcasts.
Well, I know. I'm not gonna, So
Okay.
So I'm just listening to it, and they're announcing this, and they're also travel agents, and so they were.
Oh, okay.
I think they were surprised, and so because they were surprised, and because the numbers hit me pretty hard when I was listening to it, I'm like, I've got to mention this on the show. So we'll play a little guessing game.
No, okay. All right.
So they went out and did pricing. I guess they do this to once the new packages come out to see what they're dealing with, what the increases are, and everything else.
Okay.
I will not have an increase because I don't know what the current or previous price was, but I'll tell you what it's going to be.
Okay.
Okay. So it's from September 12th through September 18th, which is just a side note.
Why are we picking that? So we're just sampling the new pricing. Is that why we're just randomly
correct?
Picking
so they tried to pick just a general time.
Okay.
So they're not picking Christmas week. They're not. They tried to pick. Generally, kids are back in school in September, right?
Right.
So they tried to pick just an average week. Okay.
Okay. Right.
2 adults, 2 children.
Okay.
So 4 total people.
Yep.
7 days, 6 nights.
Days. Okay.
7 days
nice
in the hotel.
Trip. Okay.
4-day base ticket, no park hopper.
No.
I don't know why they did the 4-day and not the like length of stay or whatever it's called, the 7 day.
Right.
But okay, so this.
So wait, I'm staying there for 4 days, 7 days, but I'm only going to the parks 4 days.
Yeah, but maybe you're going to Typhoon Lagoon one day and Disney Springs one day, right?
Who does that? Okay.
So you go to one park a day. Each park one time.
All right.
Okay. And the Disney dining plan, just the general dining plan, not the deluxe one, not whatever. If you're staying at a moderate, you get the moderate dining plan, the deluxe. Okay.
Yep.
So for the boardwalk.
Okay.
They priced it out. So how much do you think you'd pay for all of that for 7 days?
Let me break it down. So
6 nights.
Okay. So I'm just gonna average some things. So 4 people per day at like full price ticket is like $100, right?
Sure.
Because we're not talking park hopping or whatever. So I'll just start at like the retail price.
Okay.
So 400, so 1,600 roughly, but you get a little bit of discount. So I'll value that at what, $1,200 or so, right?
Okay, that's good.
And then 6 nights at the boardwalk. Now there are different levels of rooms at the boardwalk, but I got to figure they're roughly. I haven't stayed there in a long time, but $300 a night, roughly. Does that seem right?
So 6 nights.
So six nights. So was it $1,800? So can I just say $2,000? I'll just say $2,000 just to round that out. So 2. Now we're up to 3,200, right?
Yeah, around there.
Now the wild card for me is the dining plan because I've never used a dining plan. So give me some help there. How does that get priced?
I think it's about. I'm going to be off on this, but I think it's about for the deluxe. Since you're staying in the deluxe for the boardwalk, you get like the full service, 1 full service and 1 quick service. I think.
Right.
I think I want to say it's like $75 a day
per person.
Yeah.
Okay. So more math. So that's $300 per day. Per day, $300.
Yeah.
No, who would do that? That's ridiculous. Who's eating $300 worth of food a day for a family of 4? Really?
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
Okay, I'll look while you keep doing math, and I'll look.
Now is that just for the 4 days, or is that's for the 7 days because I'm staying at the boardwalk?
Yes, it's by per night of your resort stay.
Okay, but per night. Okay, so I'm going to make that I'm going to just round that down because I think 300 sounds crazy. I'm going to say 250 times 6 is. Why are you making me do all this math? A lot of money.
Okay. So for the regular dining plan, it's I was right, $75.49 per adult, and then for a child, it's $28 per day.
Oh, okay, so it's roughly $1,500 roughly for the thing. So what did I say? So $1,500 for that. I had $1,200 for the passes, and what did I say about $2,000 for the hotel? Right?
Yeah.
Is that everything I got to pay for? Yeah. Anything else? Do I have to tip anybody?
That's in the package.
Okay, so that comes out to $4,700, but I'm going to guess somewhere I'm off. So let's just say $5,000. I'm going to say it's around $5,000.
Okay, $6,462.
What? Wow, that's a lot of money. I think.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what the current rates are, but that seems like a lot to me.
That's a lot. So Art of Animation, which is a moderate, but it's a suite.
Well, that's too many wild cards.
So I won't make you guess.
Thank you.
It's $6,066.
That sounds evil.
So even though you're at a moderate, you're still paying a lot because it's a suite. All right. I don't think that was a fair. They should have picked like Port Orleans or something.
But some I mean, the biggest portions of this price don't change. I mean, the park,
the tickets and the dining plan does fluctuate because as you move down in tier, you only have the quick service option.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
So like the last one, All Star Movies, you only have quick service dining plan, and you're at the Value Resort, obviously. So All Star Movies is $4,483, so $4,500.
What I say
for All Star Movies?
Okay. Well,
so would you guess for the Boardwalk would kind of be what you paid
closer to the All Star? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds expensive to me.
That does not include parking.
Wait, they don't charge for parking.
If you drive, so that's another added expense. There's a lot of other expenses. No souvenirs, no. So I mean, no flights if you had to fly there. It doesn't include that.
But you know what? It's not okay. But that's what it costs.
That's right. That's right. Oh. It just surprised me a little bit. I think because I haven't stayed on property the last couple times because I've been trying to go the cheap route and
but not only cheap, but I mean, so you rented a like a house, right? Like a townhouse.
Yes.
Not only cheap, but it has some pluses to it, right? A lot more.
Oh my god,
yeah. Probably just a bit more casual and.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, you had to drive a little bit, but I mean. Maybe it took 10 more minutes than actually driving from the All-Star to the Magic Kingdom because it's not that far away.
Yeah, right. Probably just as much time as or less than catching a bus from an All-Star or something.
Oh, a bus! Oh my god, absolutely! It's
take a Skyway, be there in no time.
That's true. The Art of Animation is on the Skyway.
See,
and so. See? I just had to take the monorail from the Magic Kingdom. I just had to take the ferry or monorail to the TTC, then jump on another monorail to go to Epcot.
All right,
and then get to the International Gateway, and then I can catch the gondola to Art of Animation.
See,
look at that. You see,
simple.
It's only like 7 parsecs. See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. Can we get into a parsec conversation? Because
what they've clearly transformed it to what? It's always been a unit of measure, not of time. You took it the wrong way.
I can't. The first time I read that Lucas made up some ridiculous explanation as to rather than just. That's when I knew the dude was really just off his nut. It was like, really, you're gonna try and find some way to defend that other than I messed up. I mean, couldn't you have just said I messed up instead of like, well, no. And making up some ridiculous reason for it.
Galaxy, man.
It's still laws of physics.
Well, it was solidified in Solo, so.
Well, it had to because it was already
established.
Did you like Solo? Have we talked about this?
We have not talked about Solo. I have seen Solo. I thought Solo was awesome.
Yeah, me too. It's I think I placed it in my top 4.
Yeah, I actually wish they would. It's a shame that they've.
I know.
Stopped all production on all the other movies and everything else, but I really wish they would have at least 2 more Solo movies.
Yeah,
to follow.
It's a shame that it's be judged by its attendance numbers when really ridiculous. I think the biggest problem with the attendance numbers was it was too soon since the last one.
Yep,
and it was too close to Infinity War for on the Marvel side. It was just there's only so many blockbusters that humans can absorb. So
well, and plus, I think everybody knew. Well, maybe not everybody, not Joe Q Public, but I think most of the
public. How old are you?
I work at a newspaper. How old do you think I am?
It just sounds like he should be one of those old time radio announcers. Today we have Joe Q Public, what they thought of the Han Solo movie, and here's what they said.
So the oh man, you made me lose.
I know, I did it. I win.
Fine.
No, you were gonna say that everybody knows something. Maybe not everybody knows it.
About the production problems they had, right? With Ron Howard coming in.
I don't think most people do know that. To be honest, I don't think most people. I mean, obviously, fans knew that, but like But like you're saying, like if just like at work, I just sample the
public.
people at work. Like I work in an office of like 50 people.
Yeah.
I bet only 5 really knew that, they changed directors and stuff. I don't
Right.
think most people knew. But it's a shame. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was well done. And maybe I just had a low bar for it. I just didn't. But what I did find surprised me though, and I know this. Sorry, I'm going off our rundown, but whatever. Was like I saw lots of people before I saw it. I saw lots of people on the internets getting offended or uppity, or as they do on the internets, about like the number of things that the movie explained, like that, which is always one of the things that I hated about the prequels. Was like, Lucas, you didn't have to go and make up midichlorians to kind of explain the Force. We didn't need that.
Right.
And like a lot of people are saying similarly, I didn't need to see how the Millennium Falcon was won. Hopefully,
why wouldn't you want to see that?
Right.
That's been legend.
But I'm having trouble understanding, like, why am I okay with one side and not the other side? Like, I really.
Well, you know why? Because it was way more organic in Solo, where it felt way more forced in the prequels.
Puns. Yeah. And maybe that was just, it's like, plus I don't think they really made, well, no, I'm sure they did make up some things in Solo to kind of explain it. I don't know. It didn't bother me as much for some reason. It didn't. Plus, they weren't things that were as core. Like explaining how the Force works is pretty core to the the foundation of what Star Wars is about. Showing how he won the Millennium Falcon, okay, like it doesn't, it was. I thought it was good. I thought it was, and not only the idea of having it in there, but it was well executed. So I don't know. For like the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was doing what I knew I would do, which is like, does he look like Han Solo? He kind of does, kind of doesn't. I don't know. But then I got over it after about 10 minutes of that. So.
Exactly.
That was good. I liked it.
It was very good. Yes, absolutely. I was I shouldn't say surprised, but I was very happy and glad that it was a good movie.
Oh, only one thing that bothered me though. Really bothered me. The whole robot thing. I don't remember the robot's name, but the whole
you
love
mentioned
thing with
that
Lando in that, like it's just so
really
stupid. It was just so dumb. It was just dumb.
Especially
with a guy like Lando. Like if the character that was in love with the robot was like some nerd droid loving guy, then you'd be like, all right, I can see it. He was Lando. Like he's a cape wearing smooth dude. He's not going to waste time on a robot. That seems silly.
Well, I think it was just the emotional connection, right?
No, you watch it again. It was like romantic.
Well, yeah, but not.
Who's having romance with and I love robots, Glenn. You know that, but who's having that much robot romance?
Well, it's a different place. It's not Earth. I mean, they have different rules in space.
I guess maybe I need to see it again, but it was just
alone.
A bit much. It's just a bit much. But anyway, it was a bit eye rolly. Like really, that was the only part that seemed a little forced to me. But
of course.
Another one. All right,
another one.
That was a fun little journey we went on just now. So, all right, so getting us back on track. So this just in, Disney's still expensive, is what we get out of that.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
Well, so my point in that is, I think it's hitting the point where, at least, everybody's different, and I love Disney. I love it very much. But and I've been a lot, so I can't really say too much. I mean, if I hadn't been in a long time, and I'd be jonesing to get back there, it'd be different. But like now, it's like, okay, what else can we do for $6,000?
Yeah.
Like, what are our other options that we can do that might not be as expensive, but still be, be a good vacation?
Yeah, and it's probably callous to say, but we've kind of talked about how Disney, their goal is higher profits. Like their goal isn't, hey, we got to fill hotels and fill a theme park. That is not the problem they have to solve. So strictly from a business standpoint, if it means like, well, now your average family isn't that is a big fan, it can't come every year, but they'll come every 2 years, they might be okay with that. I mean, they'd rather get a little extra money every 2 years. And because filling the parks isn't the problem, right?
Well, and what, last show or the show before, we talked about attendance for the attendance for everybody came out a couple weeks ago, and they are just packing them in, and so there's
and it's only going to get
supply
better
and
for them.
demand. Well, why not? That's all you can do is raise prices.
That's right, and it's not it's
especially with
not
Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That it's not like, oh gosh, what are we going to do when we have Star Wars and nobody comes? I mean, they're not going to have that problem. So
no, they're not.
And I totally get and sympathetic to the individual hit it is, but from a product and company management standpoint, it only makes sense that they would do that. It's as you said, supply and demand. If your mousetrap is that much in demand, then people will pay it. Then that's exactly what you should do, because you got to spend $70 billion to buy Fox.
Yeah. Well, and they are, to Disney's credit, I'm not, they're building a lot of stuff. They're building,
they're putting it back into the product.
The Galaxy coaster, Tron coaster, Ratatouille ride. I mean, they're building a lot of stuff right now. So, okay. I'm a shareholder, and okay.
Yeah, and it's not quite back to 90s level of expansion and growth, but it's getting pretty close.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Some, been put on the shelf a little bit with Epcot and all, but at least for right now.
Yeah.
But okay, there's still a lot going on.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, if you look at what if you had $6,000 to spend for your family, it's like where could that go that,
Yep.
It's hard to say. Now you guys, you're right. You have been a lot, and for you collectively, your family, it's a bit more of a normal part of your life. So maybe it's like, well, $6,000, is that really worth it? But to many families that haven't been as much or whatever, they'd be like, okay, we don't go every year. We go every couple of years, every few years, and that's just what it is.
Yep.
I don't know. What you should do is take that money and just go on a Disney Cruise Line cruise. That's money better spent.
That's true.
We don't talk about the cruise line enough here, but okay.
No, we don't.
All right. So, like I said, Disney's still expensive. Glad we covered that.
Yep.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by Parkleap. Do you hate waiting in lines for your favorite rides at Disney World, Universal, and Disneyland? Of course you do. Everyone does. Parkleap tracks current wait times for attractions in real time, analyzes them, and gives you immediate guidance on what to ride now and what to skip for a shorter wait later on. Parkleap saves you time so you can do more, see more, and ride more. Many theme parks provide their own apps, which is great, but they only report the times. You'll only get information, you don't get guidance. Is that 40-minute wait good or bad? Parkleap can tell you. Parkleap also includes an interface that is clean, quick, and easy to use. Many vacationers travel to multiple theme parks. Now one app does it all. Whether you're a local resident, an annual pass holder, or travel great lengths once a year or every few years, you want to make the most of your time and money. This is the app to get to help you do that. Get Parkleap in the Apple App Store. And thank you to Parkleap for sponsoring Starport 75. All right. Now we get into the fun part of the show.
Oh, yeah?
Rumors.
Oh, I love the rumors.
Yeah. So all of these, I will preface it by saying all of these are rumors. Okay. And as we've said before, none of them may come true. But we love to talk about them and speculate.
And just make up stuff.
So,
yeah, it's easy.
So I have two main rumor items here. I'll take the good one first. At least I think it's good.
Oh, you've already set up. There's a good one and a bad one. All right.
So there are apparently a lot of leaks coming out of Disney what the new Tomorrowland in Walt Disney World is going to look like with the new Tron coaster and everything else.
Right.
So, when the concept art came out for Tron, everybody saw that the Speedway was still there, right? Tomorrowland Speedway was still there. And it's like, well, wait a second. Isn't that where it's going to be built? And it's going to be built behind that on the other side of the tracks, just like next to Space Mountain and right next to Space Mountain.
Right.
So one thing that is coming out is that there will be changes to the race. The Speedway will stay, but there will be changes to the cars. Apparently, they have shipped over one of the cars from Hong Kong. And I think it's an electric car.
No, we talked about this. Okay.
Yeah. So
It should be an electric car.
It should be an electric car because it's I mean the
Tomorrowland.
sound, yeah, it's Tomorrowland. But also on the cars, they're going to have special lighting that kind of blends with the Tron.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah,
I approve of that.
Right.
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So we should see quieter engines and
almost light cycle-ish.
Kind of, yeah.
Maybe. Wow.
So that's cool.
That is cool. I've said it before, but I'm really shocked the Speedway still is there. It just for the amount of, because it's got to be, think about the work it takes to maintain all those cars, right? Because they're all lawnmower engine cars or whatever's in those things. But so the maintenance and I mean, they literally have to change the oil in the stupid things, right?
Yeah, sure.
So you have that. Think of all the real estate that it takes for that track. I mean, that is prime real estate. Not even just like how big it is, but where it is, right? They got to stick Tron outside the park to make sure it's there. I don't know. Is that a beloved ride? Like I have no emotional attachment to it. So to me, it's just like, I mean, you know me, I like you, I like auto racing and stuff. So I get it, but it just like, if they announced, hey, it's going away and we're going to build the Tron coaster there, then I'd be like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I would too. But apparently, and in this article, and I'll post it, it says one reason for the shift away from tearing it out is due to guest surveys that point to the Speedway being a popular attraction for families, especially on return trips.
That really surprises me. I mean, I guess it does and it doesn't, because, like, you know, I stand there and often look down on it. I look down on it, but I look in its direction from like Wedway and stuff, and there is like people are smiling. Like it's hard to find anybody that's not enjoying it, and like the kids love to, I guess, like driving cars or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
I think it's a rite of passage, kind of.
I guess
so. For kids, especially boys, not to but because guess what?
Girls drive cars too, Glenn.
I know, but we do it. We did it twice this last trip because my son loves it. And he's old enough and can finally reach the pedals, so he can go by himself.
Oh,
and so he's having a blast. And so so we rode it 2 times this time. Actually used a fast pass on it. Wow. Both times, I think. Because I mean that one, if you know, that's out in the sun to wait for that line. So
yeah, that's a rough one.
They have a little shade, but not much. But anyway, it's okay. I mean, you know, I get in the front car and turn around and take pictures of every, you know, my kids behind me.
But who's driving?
So I'm not. Yeah, I just have my foot on the pedal. So it's you know, I haven't really taken the time to actually sit there and enjoy it. But it's okay. I mean, you know, you get different perspectives of Space Mountain and the Wedway, and it's not awful. But yeah, like you, if they had announced, hey, we are going to take this out for Tron, I'd be like, okay, see you later, Speedway.
Yeah, I'm glad they're changing the car. At least rumored. I'm glad it's rumored that's happening, because the one thing that does, especially now with, you know, electric cars, obviously we're hitting the vanguard of that, but you know, you hear the engines running there, and I get it's a Speedway, which I don't know, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I guess kind of made sense. Today, it just it feels like, doesn't feel like Tomorrowland. It feels like Yesterdayland. You know, with the kind of like hearing them run.
But here's the other thing. After reading this, and I still have some more rumors to go through. But I after reading this, I started thinking about it, and wouldn't it be a perfect place to incorporate Wreck-It Ralph though? And have the cars like the Candy Crush cars.
Oh yeah,
right. I mean, and it's video game based, right? And you're right next to Tron.
Yeah, and you're kind of right there between Fantasyland and
Tomorrowland. So I think it would blend better.
I'd support that.
Right? I mean, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, I do like the idea of it being more closely related to Tron, especially if it's right in front of it. And I'm thinking of the pictures I'm going to get from it, but I don't know. I think there's a missed opportunity there.
You're already planning the pictures you're going to take from there?
A little bit, yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
I'll plan them out, and they'll be beautiful in my head, but then I'll actually get there and screw it up some kind of way.
Are you going to share any pictures with the audience? No, you shared with me. I'm asking. Yeah, let me finish my question. Are you going to share with any of our audience any of your favorite shots?
Stink.
The audience?
Not the audience. No.
Oh, good.
The photos stink.
I'm sure they don't. I haven't looked yet, but I'm sure they don't. You too.
They're awful.
Anyway, okay.
All right. So
do it.
The other thing is that the Carousel Progress will get a new final scene.
I think I'm happy about that. I think.
Yeah. We wrote it. I actually wrote it twice this last time. Mm-hmm. And we are, and I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, where, it's finally to the point. I don't know what it was, but we, it was redone in 93, 94, and this is the same final ending, but we're not now at the point where we have, appliances we can talk to and they react.
Right.
And we have VR.
That was the turning point. Yep. That was the turning point is well, those two things, but I think especially because of the popularity of echoes, of voice stuff in the last 2 years or so, that for me at least, that's when we started saying, I'm like, but we're now, this is no longer tomorrow. It's no longer,
Right. But why did but when we saw it in the 90s and 2000s, we laughed at like the VR and the,
did we?
And well, yeah, I mean, I've literally heard laughter as they talked about VR,
like scoffing, like, oh, that's
like, oh, look at that big TV, and it looked dated, but it really
it's pretty spot on though. I mean,
it is
because like today, what would you do today to look ahead 10, 15
well, that's
years?
The question. What are they going to do? That's a great question.
It'll all be in VR, just that all of them will just be avatars,
right? Okay, everybody, now put on your VR goggles, and
now you know what it'll be. Here's what they're going to do. It'll be like 10, 20 years later, and it'll be them all talking about how happy they were that they were DVC members. All
right, you know what? Okay, so that'll be coming.
You didn't like that? You didn't think it was funny? That was
not one bit. Okay. And they say virtually nothing is known on what the updated final scene is.
I'm happy they'll update it because it needs to be updated, but I get so mad anytime they start talking about touching that ride, attraction, whatever. Because
I know. Well, you know what though? And I've thought this for years now, like years. Even when, like in the 80s, when I'd go watch it, there's such a jump,
right,
from because it goes, it starts in 1900, then 1920, then 1940, and as we remember, this is originally from the 1964 World's Fair, so it's 1960. So it went every 20 years, right?
Right.
Well, now it goes from 1940 to today. Like, there's such a huge jump there. They really need to change the 40s one to,
they need to kind of rebalance
the final scene now, move it there, and or something like that. I mean,
but I don't want them touching the other things. I
know they almost need to add another theater or something.
How are you gonna do that?
Well, because there's two theaters. There's a load and unload. There's two theaters there. You could just make one the load and unload.
I guess. But how would you deal with the crushing volume of people that go to it?
Well, exactly. Well, you would expect that if they added something new, that the crowds would increase, right?
Yeah, just being
I know, but still.
Yeah, I could see it like it'd be where would I what era I'd put in? I'd probably put in the late 70s, early 80s, because then you could have like it's all sort of
the opening of Disney World and Epcot, right?
No,
what I mean is like think about Epcot when it opened, right? It was
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Right. You could take some of what they had in like Epcot and put it in there, right?
Yep.
The home of future living and stuff from RCA, from the Space Mountain at the end, and like that kind of stuff.
Yep, that's what I would do. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it was big. Personal computer revolution, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot that can be covered,
like things that set the foundation for where we're at today. I have no idea.
Only they had a ride somewhere.
Well, no, I know that.
I know, but it's not the same. But
yeah, it's not the same. I don't know. Gosh, I don't know what I would do today for like, and this is my world. This is technology and stuff. I don't know what I would put.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In 1993,
especially in the home, right? I mean,
right? They had the foresight to see, to include VR and
high def TVs,
automation.
Yeah,
and
good, right?
Voice activated commands and everything. Like they think about that. They predicted the future.
Yeah. or just everybody who's made all this technology, just they all went to
Well,
Carousel of Progress, and
you
it all stuck with them.
Well,
Which came first?
That's
Chicken or the
true.
egg?
That's true.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, it needs to have something to do with it. I mean, even even their sweaters from clearly from the 90s. So
right.
Let's fix that up a little bit.
A little bit. All right, and then the other thing is Stitch's Great Escape. It's closed, obviously.
Yep.
And so the replacement for that, what this article says is that the strongly rumored replacement is a virtual reality based attraction themed to Wreck-It Ralph. And I think we talked about this before, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But Disney CEO Bob Iger has said that he's not interested in VR attractions in Disney parks.
I could see him.
Which I don't disagree with that. I think he's right. I'm not so sure that VR is.
It's not.
It's not. You're there. Like you need to be reality.
We need Disney themed VR from home. Exactly. We've talked about this before as well. It's like I want to virtually visit a Disney World through some VR.
Yeah.
For less than $6,000 a week.
Exactly. So, but it's a relatively small space. So there's not a lot they can do. So they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with that.
Yeah. Okay.
I can see that. Oh, okay. So here's the other crazy thing, and this isn't.
I love when you sigh like that before you share something. Go ahead.
So what is likely one of the most significant updates to Tomorrowland is a major new overhaul to the People Mover.
Bite your tongue. Well, depending on what the overhaul is, but bite your tongue.
Internal surveys supposedly show half of all Walt Disney World visitors ride the attraction at least once during their stay at Disney World.
Sure.
So the rumor is no specifics on what to expect with the updated version of the attraction have been shared, but possibilities include WALL-E or The Incredibles being added.
Okay. I mean, as long as they don't change the field too much, I don't want a Rocket Rods move like at Disneyland.
So there were rumors of an Edna Mode narration being recorded for the ride.
Okay.
They thought it was going to be part of this temporary summer takeover by the Incredibles, but it's not.
What are we talking about? We're just talking about changing like the little scene of things. What are we talking about?
I'm not there yet. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
So that didn't happen. So now they're thinking, okay, so it's more of a it's part of a more permanent change. And so I did not see the new movie, so I don't know any of this and don't give any spoilers.
Incredibles 2?
Yeah, I didn't. Everybody else in my family's seen it, but
it's a good movie.
I know.
Want me to tell you what happens?
If the current views into other attractions are capped, there are a number of possibilities on how The Incredibles could explain these seemingly incoherent views. Portal hopping between various locations within this dimension is found throughout the new film, and dimensional hopping, though not explained, is confirmed within the new movie. These two powers could be used to justify the various hopping between Space Mountain's sci-fi future, Buzz Lightyear's cartoon-like world, and other dimensions visited on the ride.
How about just leave it the hell alone and let me just enjoy hanging out for 10 minutes?
The views into these other attractions could also be completely walled off, allowing for more show scenes along the People Mover itself. If new scenes are added, projection mapping or screens will likely be used, thanks to insufficient space.
I don't like where this is going, Glenn.
Some have also said that Disney is looking at possibly moving the load and unload station due to concerns over the popularity of the updated ride, with one possibility being to use the Stitch's Great Escape attraction for the queue, a large pre-show room, and an updated load and unload area. This would allow for the area to include an expanded Mickey Star Traders gift shop and the ability to add at least one large show scene in the area where the current load and unload is located.
That's a tough one because it's all about execution, right? If it's a light touch, then okay, fine. If it's like, what we'll do is we'll just build a tunnel around it all, so you're not seeing anything outside, and just make it a big, experience ride. Then then that might take I don't know.
So it should. So along with it, and I don't understand. I guess we're way beyond it, and it doesn't even matter anymore. But I don't know. I don't understand how Pixar is futuristic. Like, if you do The Incredibles, how does that fit into Tomorrowland? Or how does Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor fit into Tomorrowland?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't.
Buzz Lightyear. But I guess Buzz Lightyear, sci-fi kind of type of thing, maybe. But The Incredibles, I don't know. I mean, unless something spectacular happened in this movie, I mean, they're based on Earth, and like, actually, I think
it's in the past.
Yeah, not even present day. So I don't know how that would relate to Tomorrowland. So the last bit of this says, it should be noted that most of the rumors around the Incredibles at Tomorrowland predate the runaway success of the most recent film.
Was it a runaway success?
Well, yeah.
Is it proper characterization? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it had the biggest animated opening of all time.
Did it? I didn't follow the news. Okay.
Bigger than Frozen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And people are.
I still say a lot of that is because theaters are more expensive now. I think, but
I guess.
But it's not going to have the total run that Frozen. I mean, no way. But way. It was good. It wasn't that good. Okay. Anyway. Okay.
But hold on, I'm not finished.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dead air here, Glenn.
I know. Okay. So the last bit. Okay, we talked about the success. Okay. Over the past few weeks, stronger rumors have pointed to Disney looking at possibly adding an entire Incredibles themed area to Hollywood Studios, likely replacing the rumored Monsters Inc. theme land that was to stretch from the Star Wars Launch Bay area to Rock and Roller Coaster through a new pathway behind Sunset Ranch Market. The Hollywood Studios Incredibles rumors include an update to Rock and Roller Coaster that would feature many of the same props as seen on the recently unveiled Incredicoaster at Disney California Adventure. And the Incredibles Paint the Night Parade float at Disneyland. Rumors point to the Incredibles having their own mini land with retail, unique food items, and at least 2 attractions, including the updated Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be good use of that franchise.
So I think what they're saying is if they did that at Hollywood Studios, that they wouldn't do the Incredibles overlay at People Mover, which I would be 120% behind.
Yeah. The only thing is Studios needs no help at this point. When it gets Star Wars stuff. But Tomorrowland does, so that if I'm them, that's the equation I'm going to do. But
then put WALL-E in as this.
Yeah, I wish they would do more with WALL-E. I like that movie. Yeah, okay.
At least WALL-E's in the future.
Yeah, not a good future, but it is the future. No spoilers, but yeah.
Unfortunately, that future is looking more and more likely every day, though. So maybe you're right. It wasn't a good future in 2008 when it came out.
All right.
In 2018.
Come on, this is a positive.
We're on that path, buddy.
Show. Hey, while we're chatting, I just happened to notice on what is this, WDW News Today?
Yeah.
There's a thing here about like Duffy the Bear. You know Duffy the Bear over at Epcot?
Yeah.
You know that thing? I guess he's on all the coloring sticks that all the Kid Cot stops. I don't even know what to ask you about. I've never understood this bear. I don't know where he came from. I don't know why he's there. There used to be you used to be able to meet and greet with him, but I'm seeing that was discontinued back in 2015 or something, which I didn't realize. I just don't understand this bear. Where did it come from? Why is it around? What is this?
So in the early 2000s, Duffy was introduced as a bear, the Disney bear, Duffy the Disney bear, and he was Mickey's bear that he took around with him, right?
Okay.
And it was released as, I remember, back at the whatever it was called, Downtown Disney or whatever. Because we bought one and because we thought it was cute, and it's like, oh, okay, that's great. And they had little outfits for him and everything else. Okay. So he was a moderate success, not anything to write home about. But then he made the trip to Tokyo, Disneyland.
Okay.
And the Duffy mania went crazy.
Oh, seriously?
Oh my goodness! Oh,
Like
God.
this
Yeah,
was-
it's like Mickey and Minnie are secondary to Duffy.
Stop it.
Oh my God,
This is
Duffy
so
is
because like I could see like a SeaWorld doing this that doesn't have characters. Like, okay, we need to invent a character, but Disney has so many characters. What did they need to go invent a Duffy Bear for?
right.
And you're saying this is big in Japan?
Oh my God, absolutely. So
No way.
It's so big that they tried to bring it back in the United States, and so they built the Duffy meet and greet in Epcot, World Showcase and everything, and that one right across from there, that whole merchandise location, they turned it over pretty much to a Duffy merchandise location.
Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And it flopped. We in America do not really get Duffy. Like, we're not.
No, there's nothing particularly like compelling about him, right? He's just a stuffed bear with Mickey silhouette on his feet. I mean,
that's it. But in Japan, they have new versions of Duffy coming out all the time. They have like a female Duffy, his girlfriend or whatever.
Are they confused? Do they think Duffy is Mickey Mouse? Like, does Duffy in Japanese mean Mickey or something?
No, they have this whole, cute,
yeah, but it's not even
cuteness, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong guy.
The Duffy phenomenon at Tokyo Disney Sea. Well, you're right.
Yeah, I'm right.
I hate when you're right. You're right. They have like food items with this face and stuff.
Sure.
I'm so glad I asked this question. This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I agree.
He's like in a live show, like right next to the Fab Five.
Yes.
He's like right up there with them.
Yep.
Well, apparently he don't play here because he's going away from the KidCot things. Which
is he really?
Yeah, this just in. Actually, when is this? June 26th. What's today?
Yesterday.
Okay, this is yesterday. Yeah. So the coloring stations, the KidCot things, right? Sorry, I'm doing news in the rumor section.
I like this.
So fire me. What will I do without this paycheck? So yeah, this July they're gonna have a new theme. For these coloring stations and be a new theme, blah 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 blah. But bye Duffy the Disney Bear. He will be retired July 1st.
Wow, a couple days.
Yeah,
run out and get your
in its place a new design. We don't know what this design will be. I did not realize they removed him from the meeting place in 2015, like they say here.
Yeah, they have Pluto there.
Yeah, I see him
I don't know all the time, but I mean most of the time he's there.
It does seem that way. Wow. Here's the related articles, right?
Yeah.
From 2010, Epcot is about to become Walt Duffy World.
People were scared because they were trying to push it so much that people were like, "Oh my God, this is going to be."
I completely missed this. I saw waves of it, like you would see it at stores at Downtown Disney, or like that one at the Gateway shop or whatever that is, right there.
Yeah.
But I never understood, like, where did this thing come from? Like this completely manufactured, like whatever.
Yeah, it started, and they actually, here's the deal, because when we bought our Duffy way back when,
why would you buy one of these? What is wrong with you?
Because Tammy likes stuffed bears. She likes them.
Okay, then go buy an actual bear. Like, go buy a
Disney
or something.
Bear. Stop asking why. We just come to grips with the fact that we did. All right. So we bought it, but it either came with a book with his story or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And so, but so this was the first iteration of it. It's a completely different story than Duffy has now.
Oh, really?
It's a completely different backstory than the current Duffy.
Why? All of this, I just say why. Like, you're Disney, you've got a pantheon of the world's most recognizable characters with their stories and everything. Why do you need this?
I don't know, man.
Like, it's not even like, and my wife loves like stuffed animals and bears and things. Like, we've never felt remotely compelled to have anything to do with one of these. I guess we're not Japanese.
We even have a New York City Duffy, because when we went to New York City in 2004, we went to the Disney store there, and they had New York City Duffys, and so we got a New York City Duffy.
So weird. So weird. I mean, why not use Figment? I mean, if you need something at Epcot, like, why not?
I know.
Strange. All right. Well, we'll have our army of people out there just waiting to see what happens July 1st, and maybe they'll
That's right.
a stuffed cat or something that they can they can market. So funny.
Right.
Well, hey, I've learned a lot. I had no idea this was huge.
Yeah, man.
Apparently is. Okay.
And it's fairly sad that I know that much about Duffy.
Well, you know a lot about everything.
Part of my brain that could be filled with the cure for cancer or something else.
Whatever.
It wouldn't be that.
They have Duffy photo spots at Disneyland.
Oh my God! So what you do? You bring your Duffy or the Duffy you just bought, and you sit them in that spot and take a picture of them.
Nobody's doing this.
Okay.
You're right. It's like a little seat that folds down.
It's not a Nikon photo spot where, oh, hey, put your family there and take a picture in front of the castle or whatever. No, it's not that. It's for your Duffy.
I don't understand this at all. We need to get a Japanese person on our show to explain this. Like, I don't get it.
Yep.
Weird. Totally weird. All right. Well, hey, this was fun. I learned something. Okay. What else we got? Sorry, I interrupted rumor land for that.
All right. Well, okay. So the last rumor I have is I saw it on Twitter yesterday.
Must be true.
As I said, this is a rumor, but and I will preface this by saying I find this hard to believe.
Oh.
That being said, I've been wrong many times before.
Never.
So I will just read this off and let the reactions begin.
Just throw it in the air and the cards will fall where they fall.
Walt Disney World and Disneyland annual passes may soon change to number of days per year, no blockouts passes.
Oh, I think I heard this somewhere.
Some saying the number is akin to cast member passes, 16 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This would take care of something Disney internally considers a major issue, the, quote, park as a local club, unquote, guests.
What does that mean?
The people who go there all the time and, hang out there and basically
so the people that actually
they want to drive locals out.
What, do they? I mean, make up your mind, Disney. You don't want us. You do want us. What do you want?
Yeah, so that's that.
This is where a Disney person says, "Look, Chris, we want your money. We don't want you in the park."
Exactly.
But seriously, like if they don't want people to keep coming to the park, then why keep giving out these magnets and things we've discussed before? That doesn't make sense. Well, I could totally
16 times
on the. Excuse me. What?
Just during one of your 16 times that you're allowed, go and get your magnet.
I'm not sure why this makes sense to me, but I could totally see them doing this.
That's what I'm saying. I can see them doing this as well. I'm
not sure I would be against it because, we have always been, and it all depends on where the prices fall. Like if they introduce this as a cheaper option.
No, I don't think that's it. No, I'm being serious. No, I think this is going to be the solution for Star Wars Land in both Disneyland and Walt Disney World.
Oh, I see. Do you really
think come in and see Disney and see Star Wars? I only have to put up with you 16 times a year instead of 365 times a year.
But like I've mentioned before, Glenn, I spend more money on the things I buy when I go to the park than the passes probably. Like, so the more times I go, then the more money they would be making.
Okay, we'll still give you a discount. We'll give you 20% off merchandise.
No, what I'm saying is if every time I go, I spend whatever X dollars on food and whatever, then obviously the more times I go, the more money you're making. If you reduce the number of times I go, then that's less money you're getting from me, right?
Yeah, but you're still getting $6,000 from the schmuck from New Orleans who's staying at the boardwalk.
Why does he have to be from New Orleans? This is really
to be here just 4 days in the park and not taking up our precious park space.
Oh, you get to go to Typhoon Lagoon though. You forgot that part.
Yeah, that's true.
So here's boy, that would be really hard for me because here's how it would probably go then, right? It would probably go like, okay, we're going to take, because they can't get rid of, they could, but they likely would not get rid of a standard annual pass. But you take whatever the gold or platinum one is, and you crank that up 30% more expensive. But then you introduce this thing, or you can have this for 16 trips a year for what like is the current price, right? So you kind of do that one of those switcheroos where you make the thing people currently have more expensive to kind of drive them to the new thing you want them to have, which is the limited days, right?
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, but for me, it would totally come down to what is the typical number I go, and some people would like this though, because if the trade off is, I'm gonna take the pro side to this.
Mhm.
If I want the flexibility to go during the normal blackout things, like right now, if I get a gold pass, I'm normally blacked out, around Christmas and Easter, but maybe I do want to go. This way, I'd have the flexibility to do that, right? Because I wouldn't have the rumor being I wouldn't have blackout dates. I just have limited number of days, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm okay with that. Why does this bother you? You sound very cynical about this. Why do you think this would be a bad move?
I'm just thinking if I was a Florida resident, I would not be. I mean, there's no way I would be happy with this.
Yeah. Okay. But why? You're not happy about anything. But why?
Because I used to average going once a week to Disney World.
Okay, then you get the new Platinum Pass, and you can go any number of times you want.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
But for me, like we go in through sort of fits and starts, as they say.
Mhm.
So like but on average we go once a month, so 12 times a year probably. I haven't kept track recently. So if it's 15, 16, as long as it's still over what my average number of times going is, and now I have the freedom to go whenever I want, I'm not sure I'm against it. It doesn't seem to bother me.
Okay.
See, it all depends on where the price and the limit is. If it's 10 times a year and it costs more than what I pay now, then obviously that goes in the wrong direction for me. But if it's 16 times a year and it's the same or less than I pay now, okay.
Well, so I went in the past year. I've been 3 times, and on my annual pass, yes, 3 trips. We've gone 8 days per trip to the parks.
Sure.
So I'm over. There's a week,
but you're not a typical. But that's not a typical pattern for an annual pass holder.
Right? I don't know.
And that may be the thing that they want to stop, is not so much the locals, but what you're doing on it, which is you're using, because you're not, that's not really what the annual pass is for. It's more for locals to go whatever number of times. So you're actually averaging, what am I trying to say? They'd probably see that they're losing money because you're doing it through an annual pass route versus doing, the kind of other packages we talked about.
Yeah, but my first trip there, of the 3 trips, I stayed in a Disney hotel too. And I bought Disney meals the entire time I was there.
Yeah, I know.
2 meals per day for 4 people.
But that probably, yeah, I know. But that would,
plus souvenirs.
But that's like I was saying before, though. When I go with my family, whatever we calculate the per trip cost is, I mean, we're buying Dole Whips, and we buy souvenirs, and we're doing da 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 da. We're spending,
Yeah, but I spent more than you in this past year. I've spent more than you have spent.
What is this, competition? I can go spend more right now.
No, I've been 24 days. If you've gone 12 days during the year,
right?
And I stayed at a Disney hotel for one of those weeks.
Right, but you crowded their parks twice as many times as I did, right?
And spent more than twice than what you spent.
That's where it all just depends.
So it's not it, but Chris, it's not. It's to keep the locals out. That's the whole idea behind this. Especially for Disneyland, especially ramping up for Star Wars.
That's the only wild card I can kind of say that. But just as things are status quo, the people I know that have annual passes, most of them aren't using them. Most of them use them like I do, where they're probably once a month on average they're going. Yeah, we have a couple of really rabid fans, like people I work with, that go a bit more than that. But it's not like, I'm sure they're out there, but I can't believe the majority of people who have annual passes are going once a week out there. I'd be surprised at that. But
yeah, not the majority. I agree with that. But I think people will view this, if it happens, I think people will view this as a huge negative, right? Even though people don't go, today, if you have an annual pass, the vast majority of people don't go 365 days, which they could if they wanted to, if they didn't have a blackout pass, right? But now I'm going to pay the same amount. Let's assume it's the same amount, and you're only going to give me 16 days versus 365 days. Where's the?
But that almost trips the line where that's not really an annual pass anymore. That's just a like, it's like when you bought the 4-day pass. It's a 4-day pass, right? It's 4-day passes, right? How is that? That's not really what an annual pass is. So
no, and that's what I'm saying is that it's going to be they're really going to have to spend this in a certain way to not,
right.
Or
price it at, because it doesn't have to, just because it works in Disney's favor doesn't mean it has to be bad for guests. It's not a net sum. It could be a package that works in both interests depending on what people want, and different people have different needs. One thing that you have in the note here that I'm not calculating in this is Disneyland, which has a completely different dynamic, like you said before, than the Disney World. For Disneyland, this makes absolute sense to me why they would do this, because of what you had just said. I think that makes more sense than at Disney World, but I do too. So much just depends on where it comes down with the, just all about pricing, right?
But as you said as well earlier in the show, as the locals from Central Florida keep going more and more to, you indicated that there's a popularity of the annual pass. So you see all the magnets, right?
Sure.
I mean, sheer number of pass holders that are in Central Florida,
right?
It's not an insignificant amount.
Sure, I get it. It doesn't seem to jive with all the other signals they're saying right now, which is come to the parks, come to the parks, come to the parks.
Well, of course they're saying that, but I mean, their focus is on actual travelers, not locals.
No. I'm saying for local annual pass holders, it is come to the parks, right? Otherwise, why have the magnets? Why give the discounts? Increase the discounts like they have. Why? Why do?
Well, because they raised the prices on annual passes the last couple of years.
But you don't have to do the magnets and stuff. Those are things driven, and what they did, we haven't really talked about it, but they moved the pickup location for the Donald magnet from, and actually I was wrong at the top of the show. I was wrong. We did actually go to Epcot recently. But they moved it from MGM I'll always call that from to Epcot, nice. Right? So it was a tool they used to change traffic patterns, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of, it makes a lot of sense. But my point is, if they were doing things like getting rid of things like that, or reducing the merchandise discount, et cetera, which would be more like, don't come to the parks kind of signal. I don't know. This doesn't seem to jive with the other things they're saying, but so much depends on price. I mean, if this were an inexpensive thing, if this were like the bronze level pass, where it's less expensive, you don't get photo pass, maybe you don't get the merchandise discounts or whatever it is, and it's limited to a certain number of days. It all just depends on how they position it. But I don't think you have to take it from a, if Disney wins, guests lose kind of thing. It could just be finding another kind of setup that works for both. I don't know. Maybe I'm just way too optimistic, but that's what I would hope. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. See where it goes. We'll cover it here.
We will
stay on this story. We'll stay on the story. I did go to Epcot. I tell you, we did a little bit different trip this time for Father's Day, day before Father's Day. But to celebrate Father's Day, we went because you know what, I think it's changed names, but the hibachi place in Japan.
Yes.
And we went there once, our families together.
Yes, we did. That's right.
One time, long time ago.
The only time I've been there.
Is that right? Really?
Yes.
But I hadn't been there in forever. And we were telling our older son about that kind of style of Japanese restaurant. We're like, you know what? It's Father's Day. We're going to celebrate the day before. We haven't gone out there. Let's go out there.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We didn't do too much else at Epcot. And boy, is that a trek, man. Yeah. So after dinner, the boats had already stopped. I guess they stopped at like 7 or something.
Yeah.
So we had to walk all the way around. It was a long, long walk. So that's the only thing I don't like. But I like Japan. They do have a, which my wife absolutely loved, because and you had mentioned before that the fascination of Japanese culture with cute things.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call that? They call that. Shoot, I should know what it is.
I took a picture of it, and I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, there's a name for the cute things. Kawaii, whatever, however you pronounce it. Anyway, so they have they have that almost like it's like a little museum kind of thing. They kind of rotate things out
in the back.
Yeah, in the back. So they had like a little thing on Japanese culture and Japanese cute culture, as they call it. So all the things they love, again, kind of how that came to be and whatever. So my wife loves all that stuff, and my son too. So we had a nice dinner. It was fun. He had never seen anything like that, so it was kind of fun watching him watch the show. So,
cool. That's awesome.
I don't even think we did any rides. We just kind of, we stunk up the place with our annual pass holder kind of.
Yeah, that's you only have 15 days left. You just want to go eat a meal, so
there goes.
One down.
So negative. He's such a negative Nelly. Yeah, that's how they screw you.
That's right.
Anyway, so that's what we did. I was impressed with the they're building the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster.
Yeah.
Still not a fan of the idea of it, but that thing is way more impressive than I thought it was. Like it is like the stuff they're building is like tall. Like it's
It was only like one story when we were there. It wasn't nearly as big as I've seen in the pictures now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a lot in the last month since we've been there.
We did stop and look at pins. I hate to admit it.
Nice.
I didn't buy any, but I might.
Wait. Did you order your pins from eBay?
No. I think I'm going to. I haven't done it yet, but maybe when I use my next out of my when I have 14 passes left, I'll go back. No, but I'm like, it might be fun to try just to see what we get. I was trying to see what kind of pins it's kind of weird because there was a cast member there, female cast member, and I'm like trying to just see what pins she has, but I felt like like kind of creepy, like trying to study her with her pin collection.
Well, it's a lot easier if your kid is wearing the pin lanyard and goes up, and then you can be there. But yeah, it's
I was just trying to say because
it's rather sad for adults to go up and be like,
"Oh, thanks a lot. You just ruined it for me. You just ruined it for me." I thought it'd be fun.
If you have kids, it's like, all right, the kids are doing it, but
I'm just curious what kind of like unique, like can you I don't know, like. I don't know.
There's nothing super duper. I mean, it's just fun. It's just fun to see what they have and trade.
Well, I was going to say because I was seeing them trade with somebody else, and I'm like, well, which pin are they trading to the cast member that may be an interesting pin in and of itself? I don't know.
Well, sure, right. The cast members get the ones from right. So yeah, there's a whole dimension there.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it at arm's length because I could really get sucked into it more than I wanted, but we did, I did look at them and price them up. But I don't know if you know this, but they're expensive.
Yeah, buddy, they are.
Anyway, so that was our Epcot trip. It was like I said, it was pretty short. It was mostly just to go have dinner, but it was cool.
Took the dent out of the Spaceship Earth.
They did. You saw that photo, yeah. So a few weeks ago, there was a dent in the side, but it seems like it's been fixed. Thank goodness.
Yep.
Really curious how that happened. It had to have been like they had some. Like a cherry picker doing some maintenance, and like somebody like, "Whoops, Frank hit it again."
It wasn't in an easy place for like guests to get to, or
right. No, it was clearly some machine did something or other. But then where do they get like that replacement metal? I guess they
That was more. That's more fascinating because it's like they have that somewhere sitting somewhere, or they can make that. That's awesome.
Almost like the space shuttle tiles, where like each piece probably individually numbered and shaped and whatever.
Right.
But, yeah. Anyway, that was fixed. All good. It was a good trip. We didn't do anything, too elaborate. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else, but that was pretty much it. Oh, yeah, we just went to the what do they call it? Living Seas. Is it still called that? Is it called Nemo Land? What's it called?
Oh, I don't know. Seas with Nemo.
We saw Crush.
Oh, show. That's nice. I'm glad you did.
What? What does that mean?
I used to love that pavilion, but
oh yeah, I know. Come on, don't finish on a down note. It was, whatever. Stop it.
All right. So last Disney thing before picks of the week. Park Leap. Any updates or anything? Are you working on it?
Big one's coming. So
really?
Probably going to submit an update in about in the next week or so. Added a whole new feature about mapping, which I didn't really intend to do, but it kind of came together pretty quickly. So, which I hadn't had before, but now you can see a map of the park you're at with little points of interest indicators for the different attractions and indicating their relative wait time value, right? So if they're red, meaning stay away, the wait's too long, or green, go hop on it. So this way, if you let it work with your location stuff on your phone, you can see exactly what's right around you. That rather than just seeing the whole park in a list, you can see what's right around you. So I'm hoping to have that out pretty soon, and it's picking up. I noticed. I don't know if it's just summertime or what, but more people seem to be getting it and using it, which makes me happy. So
that's awesome.
So probably next week or two, I should say that.
Good. That should be very helpful.
I think so. I wish I could have had something done before you guys were down here, but I guess you'll just have to come back. And use even more days of Disney's valuable time.
No, I'm going to Universal. I'm going where they appreciate me. And
wow, maybe we should just stop this podcast because you seem like
what?
We'll just do a Universal podcast and I'll start going there.
No, it's fine.
But they're just going to end up doing what Disney does. So if Disney does a limited day pass, then they're going to do the same thing.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? They're not, because they're happy that anybody's there. So
no, I don't think that's quite their problem now either.
Well, but in all seriousness, I don't think they would go to something like this.
Yeah,
but,
maybe not. Maybe you should just go to SeaWorld or Legoland.
SeaWorld. See them kill fishies.
Yeah, that's what they do. Those are the new shows. They just kill the fish right in front of everybody. Right. And then cook them up.
That's right.
All right. Things got really dark here. All right. Let's lighten it up a little bit with some good old capitalism commercial stuff
right.
here.
That's right. All right, you or me?
You.
All right. This one is actually for you, though. I thought of you when I was picking, and so I have tried to cut out sodas, and sugar, but sodas.
A foolish thing to do to me, but whatever, man.
So I have, but I still need to get caffeine into my body some kind of way.
Okay.
So I've never been a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying some different stuff, and so I tried ice brew, cold brew coffee, a few months ago, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but I didn't have an apparatus to really make it in, so I'd make it in a like this 2-quart Tupperware container, fill it with water, and then pour it out. But filter it through a paper coffee filter into another thing, and it took forever.
Like a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, right? So I kind of gave up on it, but I was reading something I think in the New York Times or something about the best way to brew coffee, and so part of that was ice brew coffee, the best way to do it. Here are some makers that we, or whatever you call it, that we like. And so I looked at one of them. It's $18 at Amazon. $19, sorry, $18.99. And it holds 4.5 cups of water.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes 4.5 cups of ice coffee concentrate, right? And it has a filter that sits in the middle of it. And so you pour your coffee into the filter, and then you put your water in the container, the jug, whatever. What do you call it?
The jug.
Yeah, what am I looking for, man?
The carafe.
Okay.
The flask, the bottle,
the bottle. There you go, the bottle.
Okay.
So anyway, you just stick it in there, and you stick it for the overnight, 24 hours, whatever you want. And then when it's done, you just take the cap off and unscrew the part with the grounds and put the cap back on, and there's your coffee. It's done.
Okay.
Easy cleanup. You can put the mesh filter into the dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really easy cleanup and all, and it's very convenient. So I'm loving this thing.
I have something similar. It doesn't use a filter. It's like a carafe, right? It's like a glass jug, if you will. Okay. And it has like a metal mesh cylinder that goes down in the middle.
Yeah.
And is this kind of what you're talking about?
Kind of.
Okay, so it's like a cylinder, and you put them there, and you just let it sit in there, and kind of sits in there for. I love cold brew. This isn't what I made, but this is store bought cold brew, but that's what I have right now, actually. So, but I want to take a look at the one you have. Just clean up on the one I have is kind of yucky.
That was the other part of the beauty of this one is that it's very easy to clean up, and that's why I like it so much.
Okay, I'll check out the one you got. I love cold brew. Cold brew is awesome.
So the name of the cold brew iced coffee maker is Takeya, Takeya, and I'll have a link in the show notes.
All right. Since Glenn and I lost each other because of my poor internet, but thankfully I can keep recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheap out a little bit. It's not going to be a new pick. It's going to be a follow-up pick. And I mentioned last time about the Nomadic backpack that I got and tried. And that's Glenn texting me to say, when's my internet coming back? Anyway, so but what I had said last time when I picked the Nomadic backpack is I had just gotten it. Seemed like it was going to be a good thing, but I hadn't used it yet on a flight. Right, Glenn? Right, Chris? I hadn't used it on a flight, but I was going to be going soon. I was a little concerned about the size of it, and just you don't really know a bag or whatever until you kind of travel with it and use it. So I had that trip to Houston that I mentioned, and I used this bag, and I really liked it a lot. I think the layout of it made a lot of sense. I was able to find a place for everything and easily find it, and it fit just fine under the seat in front of me. So the concern I had about the size was just fine, and I'm a total backpack convert, and so instead of a new pick this week, I'm just going to double pick my pick from last time. For the Nomatic backpack, nomatic.com. I think it's a great pack. I think it's pretty well designed. So far, it's going to seem like it's going to hold up durability-wise. We'll see as time goes. But that is going to be my renewed pick. So I really like it, and I think the price is pretty reasonable, especially if you can get that discount that I mentioned before. So Nomatic backpack. Hey, I did my pick. My pick is done. This is kind of fun because now I'll just leave it secret, and when you edit it, you can see what it is.
There we go. Is it a Disney annual pass?
It's the new 8-day option Disney annual pass for $1,000 a person. Oh, funny. That's kind of funny, like mystery pick. All right. Anyway. And you just mentioned something that I didn't realize. This is show number what? So show 50, right? Isn't this 50?
This is episode 50 of our podcast.
Unfreaking believable. That's crazy.
Crazy, right?
That is crazy. Well, okay. No wonder I've got a brand new Audi R8 in the driveway.
Yeah, it's getting kind of tougher to figure out why we're at 50
no,
and we're almost 2 years in, and
and what? And why
we only have 60,000 subscribers.
Yeah, well, I got to speak to the people on the business side of this thing. So
yeah, you do.
They're not doing their job with the.
No, I know
something, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the time to chat about.
If nothing else,
Disney.
It's fun for us.
It used to be, if you go back and listen to show number 1, you were probably much more optimistic about Disney back then.
Actually, show number 0 was my trip report from Universal. So,
yeah, but also notice it would show 0 and never got released. So,
that's for the quality issues
and quality of your attitude, sir. All right, it's like 1,000,000 here.
I know. And well, thank you for joining me. So that
really somebody at Spectrum doesn't want my internet to stay working. So.
Well, thanks for coming back and talking about the 50th.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
We need a 50th theme song and stuff.
Well, I know a guy that can do that.
50 years, we're having a party.
Oh, brother! Well, pretty soon there'll be you can just use the 50th Disney anniversary.
I know. Thanks.
Excuse me. Actually, here you need to go find whatever music they had special for Disneyland's 50th, and then go.
Well, I was just thinking about that actually, as I was singing the 15th anniversary for Disney World song. But
is that what that was? I thought you were just making it up, but that was
no, I wasn't making it up. No, that's from 1987, 1986.
You are like my Disney Rain Man. That is.
Oh yeah,
that's what I have here now.
So sad, right?
All right, man. Listen, I gotta go rest up because now I feel inspired to go to the theme park. So I need to get my energy back.
Good. Well, you won't be as exhausted throughout the year because you can only go 16 times. So
negative. No, I get to go 16 times, which is actually frankly
why
I go.
You know why I'm being negative?
We're already done with this story. What? Why?
It's because it would keep me from ever moving back to Disney World. Florida.
That's ridiculous, Glenn.
It's not ridiculous. I would go over that in a heartbeat.
But they're going to have some option. It's not like it's going to be the only option. And besides, if you move back here,
pay more money.
If you move back here, it'd be because you should have a job at Disney, and then you don't have to worry about it. You go whenever the heck you want.
Yeah, and make the whole
triple what you make now. That's right.
$10,000 a year, sure.
Oh my goodness, you can do more than just be selling churros in a cart somewhere. There's other things.
Okay. Yeah. Disney's not really, I don't think they're really known for their high salaries.
I see it all the time. People with like private jets and things go in there and stuff. Seems like lots of people.
Well, yeah, one guy definitely does, but
but he's not even a human. He's an android. So
well, that's true too. He is. I am
the Iger droid. I am Bob Iger. I am running the company. 16 days is enough for anybody. There you go.
You can only have 16 Dole Whips a year. That is it.
No, I mean, there shouldn't be any limit on the Dole Whips. You just have
that's it. No, they're going to start limiting everything. They're going to scan your card. Oh, sorry, sir. You've already gotten your 16.
You're like those tinfoil hat people that are like, they're coming to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to steal your soul.
No, it's not that. It's just okay. We'll see what happens, man.
All right, it's not. Whatever happens, it's not.
That's why we had this podcast, so we can talk about this stuff.
Oh my goodness!
That's why it's so much fun. Can't you tell all the fun we're having?
All right, we must have crossed over into some late night weird zone. It's just gotten doubly weird.
All right, man.
You better start editing this. This is going to be a multi-day.
I'll have released by the time we're recording our next podcast.
Okay, so very good. So a month from now we'll see it. All right. Well, it was good fun, Glenn. Thank you, and go rest up and get less cranky or something.
You too.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Starport 75. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram at CBGray, and Glenn on Twitter and Instagram at DizWiz. Follow the show on Twitter and Facebook at Starport75 and Instagram at TheStarport75. For all things related to the show, including show notes and links to connect with us, visit us at starport75.com.